maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm coming in too soft. But welcome to
What's in her purse? Oh, it's a pineapple.
date night. New episode of Date Night. The kids are asleep, and we're going to play this game called Love on the Peacock Express. I can't do this throughout the whole game.
I didn't. No one asked you to do that. I said be sensual.
Oh.
I go, hey guys.
Yeah, hey guys. It's date night.
Yeah.
And we have dinner in front of us with candlelit everything.
Dinner from the candle.
Candlelit everything. Everything's
Dinner's
on
my
fire.
candles, candlelit.
And yeah, we're going to play this
asparagus
game.
Candlelit.
Audrey and I are going to play this
Potatoes
game.
are candlelit.
I'm John Abaya. Welcome to Date Night.
Candles candlelit.
And we're playing this game described on itch.co as a MILF game. Love on the Peacock Express. A journey, something with MILF or whatever. If you don't know what the word MILF is, turn this off right now and ask your parents. Thank you. And joining...
No, specifically ask your mother.
Oh, mother. Who is probably a MILF. No. So before we begin, I would just go to the credits. Thank you to everyone on here. This person's name is just Jay. That's kind of cool.
And that
V
person's just
too?
V.
Oh. Yeah. Thank you for everyone here for making everything. I really like the sound. It's very like you said, sexual.
I did not say sexual. I said sensual.
Sensual. Oh, yeah, sorry. Two different words, two different meanings.
This is why everything's candlelit and not on fire.
Let me see what's in here. Sometimes that's nothing in there. About. Okay. Preferences. Speed, sound, music, auto forward time. Okay. Yeah. Everything looks good. Return. But yeah, this is Love on the Peacock Express. We're gonna play a new game. It is a visual novel or what? I don't know. Probably. You are going to take control and decide on our destiny if our love again. And let's begin. What's your name? So what's our name here?
I need an older.
Do you remember
name.
what's our old name?
Not that old. Barbara. No.
Barbara? Nah, I don't like. Barb.
Barbie. Barb.
Barbie. That's not old.
Barb. Beatrice.
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 Right here, right? That's how you spell it?
Yeah.
Ooh. A light breeze slips through the kite station as the Peacock Express pulls up on the tracks this late in the summer. It's starting to cool down and I'm grateful for my jacket. This is going to be a lot of reading, everyone, so that's not going to stop me from going on vacation. I've been waiting for months.
Please line up for the train in an orderly fashion. The conductor will take your passes one at a time.
How about you be the person
that reads?
Yeah, with the woman.
Okay. Despite her request, the crowd surges forward. Hey, it was the girl that was talking. See, it was me.
Oh.
Jostling me into the very center. Dodging bags and wayward elbows, I squeeze my way into the actual line as the door to the train slides open. It's a full week trip from start to finish, weaving around the country with stops in half a dozen major cities. For once, I can kick back and take the ultimate scenic route. Oh, look at the conductor. She has roses.
I'm turning up the music a little bit. Because I want to really hear the music.
Tickets out, darlings. We have a lot for you to get through. The conductor fills the doorway with a burst of flair and color. Her rich red uniform lined with gold. She winks when I catch her eye, and heat rushes up my face.
Okay, this is going to be very sensual story.
It'll be a while before she gets to me, though. You're first in line, Mrs. She's cut off by a ticket being shoved underneath her chin. The woman in front is tall, silver, and sharp as a polished blade.
If you would.
Of course, ma'am. Wouldn't want to hold up a VIP. A bright smile from the conductor goes unanswered, and once she's ripped off the tab of the ticket, the other woman vanishes inside the main car. Oh, she did vanish. Next, I scoot a couple of steps forward when there's a gap in the line, only to hear the conductor grunt with effort as 2 large canary yellow suitcases are urged right into her hands. Knockout femme.
Sorry, if you could help me with these really quick, with this real quick, I'll get out of your hair.
No problem, ma'am. How many of these do you have?
5? No, 6?
Excellent. It's hard not to laugh as the conductor tries to juggle the suitcases, ticket, and gracefully accept the woman's apologies all at once. The passenger does her best to help, but there are just so many bags. I'll be right back, everyone.
See ya.
Okay, I'm back. She returns a moment later, smoothing out the wrinkles in her vest, and calls up the next person in line.
Do people do that?
Yeah. It's an older woman with her hair cut short and clean, reaching into the pocket of her jeans and taking out a brown wallet. Then she hesitates, letting that one drop before pulling a black wallet from her jacket instead.
Here you go, miss.
I think it's a lady.
I know. Here you go, miss.
Salt and pepper butch. Head on to the back, but try not to be a stranger to everyone, okay? This is a pleasure trip.
I'll keep that in mind. Wouldn't want to disappoint a lady.
The scar across her mouth tugs tight when she smiles. A little flustered, the conductor waves her inside the train. Oh, she has a little scar right there.
Mm-hmm.
And next? Oh, that's me. At least I don't have a lot of baggage to carry on board. Hello, sweetheart. Ticket, please. Oh, that's nice. Here you go. I feel like my voice is...
She does not look like a MILF. Is she like the young...
Kind of, but it doesn't mean that a young lady wouldn't want to be with an older lady.
Yeah, I know, but I'm assuming finding love on this train is all with older ladies, right? That's the thing.
Here you go. She holds it up to the light for a moment before tearing off the shorter end and handing the rest of the ticket back. I wonder if the conductor likes her job. I guess I could always ask. Is this work as exciting as it looks? Her laughter is light, almost playful. I catch a twinkle in the conductor's eyes as she looks me over from head to toe. What do you think? Exciting depends on your definition. It might be, depending on what you do for a living. I'm a private investigator. Oh my god. We always get these people.
Enhance everything in the train. I'll solve this case.
Now do your voice. Do her as your
What?
voice. The frog.
I'm a private investigator.
Like the classic type, sniffing out clues, poring over files in my tin office at home. I don't have enough cases to hire a secretary though. Hopefully I will soon. Are you now? Interesting. Then shouldn't you know whether or not I like my job? Sharpen your eye, Gumshoe. She looks like Carmen.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is it?
Yeah, you have to decide.
Okay, so her clothes look brand new, like they're just come off the rack. Either the train company changes them with every season, or she hasn't been doing her job very long. It's you.
Well, you make the fall colors look really good.
Delight brightens the conductor's eyes. I'm not sure how much that will show on my annual review, but I appreciate it.
What?
How do I go again?
Oh, you click on the clothes.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I already did that.
Yeah.
Do I click on my thing?
Go inside the door, probably. The hat? Oh, the hat, yeah.
That's funny. The symbol on her hat doesn't match the one on the outside of the train.
Oh.
Not enough to make everything match, I guess. Nice hat.
Nice hat!
Now she looks even more amused. Maybe that's a good thing. Why, thank you.
Yeah.
I had to modify it a touch myself.
Romancing her. What else?
Her
Hair.
She's definitely teasing me. That could mean that the conductor really does like her job. Or she's being snarky to call attention to the obvious. Look at my eyes changing, I sweat. Either way, she's pretty and a little older than I expected at first glance.
I think you like pulling my leg. You probably like it. I know a fake service smile when I see one. So do you want to go into like investigation right away? Or just
Well, do you
flirt?
want to be snarky or do you want to like...
I think you're pulling my leg.
Yeah, to be like... So she'll talk to us later.
I think you like pulling my leg.
Feigning offense with a sigh, the conductor puts a hand over her heart. You wound me, young lady. Before I can open my mouth again, the conductor hushes me with a light squeeze on one shoulder. Then, as it is to chat, there are plenty of people in line behind you. And I'm afraid your ticket wasn't an early bird reservation. No assigned seat.
What does that mean?
It means you have to choose who to share a car with. The whole passenger manifest is a mile long. So how about you make my life a little easier and choose from the 3 ladies that already came on board? I'm sure they'll all make for charming company. She holds out a trio of tickets for me, and I take a closer look.
Okay, which one should we go? Pineapple lady?
No, so this is high maintenance, the butch, and then like snarky business, like all business, no play. Play? I'm
Some
not sure how to
play.
do.
No play.
So for an investigator who is going to help us out more, she'll probably, it makes it seem like she wouldn't know much. She knows more than she's leading on, and she won't say anything. I
Yeah.
don't know. You pick one.
The silver fox set. How do you say the? You know how like silver fox is for guys. Is there one for women?
I think it would be the same. I remember the silver-haired... I cannot talk anymore. I remember the silver-haired woman. The one who had so boldly cut to the front of the line. A woman like that knows what she wants and how to get it. The thought gives me a little thrill. Plus, her behavior tickled my curiosity. Why had she been in such a hurry?
I would like this cabin, please.
The conductor chuckles, seemingly in anticipation. The VIP cabin. You're a lady with high standards. Unfortunately for you,
What?
so is its current resident. Let's hope you can convince her to let you stay.
Oh, well, if it's a problem, I can.
Move along, please. We're on a tight schedule.
Oh.
Whoever is behind me in line pushes me forward. I gather my luggage and make my way to the proper cabin, suddenly nervous about my choice. We're on the train now, finally. Train. Each cabin on the Peacock Express is as comfortable and aesthetically pleasing as it needs to
You
be.
see it's moving?
But the VIP cabins are something else. The cushions are softer. The bulbs are shinier. I was like, the baubles. The seats more spacious. I'm surprised the conductor lets some common passenger like me set foot in a VIP cabin, let alone occupy one. The sharp-looking woman from before sits in one of the seats. A stack of manila folders sits beside her, and she seems too distracted perusing papers to notice my entrance.
Hello, don't mind me. I'm just gonna stow my things away.
I shove my things in one of the compartments above my head. When I turn back around, her eyes lock with mine in a cold, steely gaze. The moment is brief, however, and she wordlessly returns her attention to her files. I sit in the seat across from her.
It looks like we're gonna be sharing a car for the journey. My name is Beatrice, private investigator.
Cassandra, charmed. Wow, she didn't even look up that time. Talk about a frosty reception. Good thing I'm an expert at cracking open cold cases. I gesture toward the window and look outwards.
It's a beautiful time of the year to be traveling, isn't it? I was a little disappointed when I couldn't squeeze any vacation time in when it was warmer, but the sight of the leaves changing made it worth the wait. And this tree is so enchanting. I bet it looks downright
picturesque. From the outside, a luxury train racing across the countryside.
I hear a scoff. I turn to see that Cassandra has shut one of the manila folders in her lap, her lips pursed in a thin line. Astounding. It seems that VIP tickets mean absolutely nothing these days.
Ooh.
Oh, you expected to have a car to yourself, I take it? Maybe that's usual the case, but it sounds like this ride is full of capacity. So, yeah, looks like you're stuck with me. But trust me when I tell you, I'm going to be the most interesting and charming train buddy you could have. Buddy.
She rolls her eyes and starts to shift through another stack of papers.
But you seem more like a woman of action. You're on a fancy train bound to travel the countryside for a week, but you're dressed as sharp as a tack, like you're still on the job. You're digging through those folders, but you're not browsing, you're looking for something. You have evidence in your hand, and you're trying to piece it together. Combine that with the freshly pressed suit and the desire of a private cabin, you are an agent for the CIA.
Okay. That's a little presumptuous.
Or shoot, you might be a Russian spy. Collusion.
Cassandra sighs heavily. She abandons the folders and... Oh my god, I accuse her of being a spy. And now she's reaching for something in one of her suit's inner pockets. I begin to sweat as she withdraws a tiny case from her pocket, opens it, and brandishes a deadly set of business cards.
Cassandra? What are you?
Be quiet and pay attention. Cassandra clutches the cards between two hands and twists, tearing them clean down the middle. She hands me the contents of one of her hands, tossing the rest back into the case. Given that you absolutely refuse to leave me in peace, I will humor you for the time being. In your hand are pieces of business cards from various sources. One of them belongs to me. If you can correctly guess my last name and what I do, then I might consider you worthy of my attention. My heart races. A test of deduction to impress a woman? Now this I can do. Before I shift through these business cards, let's have a look at Cassandra. Not only does that jacket look crisp and clean, it seems to be custom tailored. It fits her perfectly. No wedding ring, but I can see a gold watch peeking out from the edge of her sleeve. Between that and the suit, she's obviously pretty wealthy. She's also right-handed, judging by how she sorted through those papers. As for her physical appearance, the lines around her mouth and eyes, as well as that silver hair, put her somewhere in her late 50s or early 60s. She looks great though. There's not a hair out of place. Her gaze is alert and confident, and her features are sharp and defined. Gosh, I hope I'm not blushing. Oops, sorry.
Or a secret agent.
Do your investigations usually require this much gawking?
Of course, appearances can say a lot about a person. In my line of work, sometimes you really can judge a book by its cover.
Interesting. We agree on that much, at least.
Oh yeah, well, you weren't exactly keeping your eyes to yourself just now. What do you think when you look at me?
Get back to work.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
I start to flip through the card scraps Cassandra gave me. For each one, the only information left intact seems to be the surname. The names are as follows. Bahita, Fiore, Sanchez, Valdez, Ezra, Tamaki, and Kite. But Kite was the name of the train too.
Yeah.
They're all different names, but...
Wait a second.
It's the same.
It's the same thing. Okay.
These business cards.
They all look the same. They all look the same. Their designs are stunning.
So we don't really know how they look. So we have to assume they look the same because she's saying it. But the designs, I'm assuming, are stunning too. So let's go. Yeah, that one.
They all look the same.
They all look the same.
Hardly.
Oh.
Here, notice the eggshell coloring in Romulan type? And this one, bone with Sicilian rail. You see? Completely different. Hold up. Now that I'm looking these over, the name Kite rings a bell. Yeah, that's it. We departed from Kite Station. Then that means...
Your name is Cassandra Kite, isn't it? CEO of Kite Transit.
For the first time, I see a hint of a smile from Cassandra. It's small, but it still makes me flush with pride. That's right. I'm a huge name in transportation and infrastructure.
But that means you're one of the richest CEOs in the world.
Right again. You can see then why I might have more important things to do than sit and chat with a random passenger. So there you have it. You prove that you have a few tricks up your sleeve, and I prove that I'm a very, very busy woman. In other words, stop bothering me. Somehow her words only make me blush harder.
I was closer to the mark with my first guess than you let on, wasn't I?
Excuse me?
Maybe you're no secret agent, but really are looking for something. You seem really concerned when we're searching through those files. Don't take this the wrong way, but you clearly have a problem. Don't take this the wrong way, but you clearly have a problem. The kind of problem a private investigator might be able to solve.
Oh, it's like a continuing sentence.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Very well. Yes, I seem to have stumbled upon a bit of a mess. You mentioned employing the skills of a private investigator? Where? Where could I find one of those in the middle of an extended train excursion?
Well, I guess I could put my vacations on pause.
Very well. Consider yourself hired, Beatrice, on one condition.
You name it, you got it.
Cassandra's eyes filt over me. Then she holds my gaze. What is filt over me? Flit?
Flit?
What is it? F-L-I-T?
Yeah.
I don't know. The terms are simple. If you can solve this debacle for me, I will reward you graciously, as you are due. I don't know why I couldn't say that all at once. If you fail, however, you are not to speak to me for the remainder of the trip. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am. That sounds fair to me. So, what's the job?
She pauses one last time, considering. Then she picks her way through one of the folders on her lap until she plucks a staple packet from its depths. Before we discuss any further details, you must sign this. I accept the packet and skim its contents. There's a lot of legal jargon, but I managed to glean enough meaning from it to understand its purpose.
This is a non-disclosure agreement?
Indeed it is. Consider it a formality.
A formality that would let you sue the pants off of me. Sure.
In due time. Ooh, pants off.
Wait, what?
Will you sign it or not? You're trying my patience as it is.
More before I sold the devil.
Devil or no, I can't tell you anything without knowing you won't leak internal secrets to anyone. You will sign it or we're done here.
Well, alright. I'll just have to trust that there are no devil horns hiding in those silver locks.
I scribble Beatrice P.I. in the designated space. Cassandra accepts it and files it away. She then places the stack of folders on the seat beside her and faces me squarely, staring with an intensity that affirms the gravity of her situation. In simple terms, I believe one of my employees has betrayed me.
Betrayed? In what way?
That is what I'm trying to find out. If someone means to have me removed from the executive board, I need to know who they are and how they are doing it.
I see. So, if you don't know what they're doing to sabotage you, how do you know someone's after you in the first place?
There have been rumors that I cannot ignore. So I had my secretary assemble as much possible evidence as she could find. Sure enough, I'm finding oddities. Numbers that don't add up. People in the company I don't remember existing. I just haven't been able to fully parse it all. Is it parse?
Parse, yeah. Parse it all.
It's all in front of me, but I don't know who the evidence implicates. If I don't identify the culprit by the time of my daughter's piano recital, I'm afraid it will be too late.
Your daughter recital?
Your daughter's.
Your daughter's recital?
Yes, that was originally the end goal of this trip. I was going to have a pleasant train ride in a luxury cabin and arrive at our destination in time to see my daughter perform. Instead, I'm going to be racking my brain over these documents while the ghost of my job security haunts my every waking hour.
Yikes! Talk about poor timing. Can you tell me a little about your daughter? Just one, out of curiosity.
To my surprise, Cassandra's scowl softens. Yes, of course. My daughter turned 10 last June. I adopted her when she was only an infant and have raised her on my own ever since. Well, except when I needed to hire a nanny. I've been away overseeing a critical project for the past week and a half, and I'm eager to return home to see her and the product of her piano lessons. But if those rumors turn out to be true, and I'm ousted from the board, she closes her eyes and shakes her head. When Cassandra looks at me again, her scowl has returned. Enough small talk. Now that you know the core details, I need to know that you are committed to helping me solve this riddle. Will you help me? I look at Cassandra, at her well-pressed suit and perfectly styled hair. She is the very picture of an important, powerful woman, but here she's asking for my help. Maybe she was only humoring me at first, but I think now that all her cards are out on the table, she's really worried. After all, if she loses her job, it won't just be her that's affected. She's thinking about her daughter too. Then again, she is one of the richest CEOs in the world. In all likelihood, she'll have some money to fall back on. Her pride might be what's in greater danger here. Either way, I can't shake that feeling I got when Cassandra smiled at me. That feeling alone is enough to sway my decision. The feelings in her loins. What? The feelings in her loins.
Oh.
I stick my open hand out towards her.
Miss Kite, you can count on me. I'm on the case.
Do you think every time she does that, she actually puts her glasses on and takes them back off? Amusement shows in faint creases around her eyes. She takes my hand and shakes it. Glad to hear it, Miss Beatrice. We'll start here. Cassandra gathers her stack of files and dumps them into my arms. On the top is a cover letter that says, "Here are the documents you requested, Miss Kite." A messy signature adorns the bottom. Placing the letter aside, I make my way through the files, skimming each of them as Cassandra speaks. The rumors actually started a few months ago. I thought little of them at first. When you're in a position of power, you hear whispers all the time, but their persistence demanded my attention. I kept a wary eye on our numbers, but never saw anything conclusive. It wasn't until I had everything in front of me that I realized just how serious the danger is. I want to agree with her and say that these reports look totally shady, but the truth is, I have no idea what I'm looking at. They're so full of busy graphs and corporate jargon. I can't make heads or tails of any of it. Meanwhile, Cassandra's getting into full businesswoman mode, talking about quarterly reports and holdings and partnerships, somehow all in the same breath.
Hey, Cassandra.
She pauses and raises an eyebrow. What is it?
I don't think we're going to find anything just by looking at reports. I mean, sure, you notice a few quirks in the files, but understanding the big picture might require us to take a more humanistic approach.
I don't understand what you mean.
What I'm trying to say is that we need to understand the traitor's motive. Figuring out why they're doing this will help us narrow down our list of suspects.
Whoops.
What was that?
I didn't know I clicked something.
I think you hit save. Oh, just saving the empty spot right here. Right there. There. And then return. right there.
Numbers and graphs don't show motives, though. People do.
Cassandra frowns at this, knitting her brow into a deep scowl. She doesn't protest, though. In fact, she turns to dig something out of her bag. Eventually, she plucks a photo from within and hands it to me. Here, this is a photo of the executive board of Kite Transit. My top suspects are circled in red. They have both the power and ability to dethrone me.
Okay. Those other two, though.
So Mr. Sulu has no
No.
purpose here.
We can click on that. Okay. Yeah, let's go for her first.
I examine the leftmost circled figure. She appears to be a middle-aged woman, a bit younger than Cassandra. This is our chief operating officer and my second in command. The COO has power over human resources.
So you think the second in command might want to be the first in command?
Possibly. I've rejected quite a few people she's wanted me to hire. Maybe she's grown tired of butting heads with me. If I was out of the picture, she'd be able to bring in as many of her people as she'd like. The middle figure is an older, balding man. The chief financial officer, a CFO, he handles financial risks. He's meek, almost spineless really, but he's also the one to take whatever path leads to the most money. With me gone, he would be able to cut as many corners as he'd like and make inordinate sums of money. Plus, he'd know how to manage it all.
He know.
So the motive here is money.
To an extent, yes. I look at the rightmost circled figure. They seem to be a little younger than the others. They seem to be? Or does it just mean everybody from the left side? That's the Chief Information Officer, or CIO. They manage our databases and keep Kite Transit fitted with the latest innovations in transport. To be honest, they aren't the type to grasp for money or power. They rarely express interest in anything beyond their computer screen.
So why are they on the suspect list?
So I'm assuming they're saying they. That means either he's non-binary
Oh, okay.
or they are non-binary. That's why they keep saying they.
I thought they meant like those three.
No. I think that person is non-binary.
Of the three, they're the only one with the ability to manipulate data. Give some numbers a nudge in just the right places, and it can cause a chain reaction, eventually resulting in disaster. A disaster which, naturally, would be pinned on me.
Your suspects are your top board members? Huh.
What's wrong?
I guess no corporation is complete without its shady characters, huh? You seem like you have such high standards. Why did you even hire such untrustworthy people?
Maybe the last one?
This one?
Yeah.
You want to go there?
Yeah, let's go there.
You seem like you have such high standards. Why did you even hire such trustworthy people?
Cassandra raises her eyebrows. The corner of her mouth quirks for a fraction of an instant. I'm afraid you misunderstand me. The three are very capable and have been invaluable workers over the years. As competent as they've been, however, that doesn't change the fact that one of them has questionable loyalties. You know how the old partnership goes. Spend too much time with someone and you grow sick of them. I just didn't expect one of them to be this spiteful.
So basically, you think the primary motive is generally animosity? That seems a little far-fetched. To be honest, there's usually some kind of catalyst, a final straw sort of thing. Have there been any fights between you and any of the other board members that maybe or may have pushed them over the edge?
We often have petty squabbles over small details. Such is the nature of the business, but there have been no major incidents in recent memory.
Then why do you think that's the motive?
Cassandra sighs. It's clear her patience is wearing thin. Nevertheless, she maintains her composure and reaches into her files again. This is the only proof I have that one of them is unhappy with me. Try telling me that isn't evidence enough. Cassandra fishes out a note and hands it to me. I examine it closely. I was kind of hoping the note would be written in a bunch of cutouts of letters from magazines and newspapers, like in the movies, but no luck.
I deserve a place. Your place.
I deserve your place. The message is handwritten on the kind of paper you'd find in an office printer. It reads, I deserve your place. I found it pinned to my desk a week ago. Clearly, someone is unhappy with their position. Unhappy enough to confirm my suspicion in very plain terms. But it makes no sense at all. I have been consistently generous with promotions, bonuses, and benefits. I've given them all that they have deserved, and none of them have expressed any desire for more. Why the sudden discontent? I look at the photo again, staring at each board member in turn. They each have similar plastered on smiles, the kind you give for these obligatory group photos. Even Cassandra's expression is marginally less dour. One of these people must be the culprit. It's clear the note wasn't left by some random prankster. It had to have been someone with access to Cassandra's desk. Yet, as I consider each option, recounting what she told me about each suspect, something doesn't feel quite right. Each suspect has a vague reason to depose Cassandra, sure, but none of them seem worth the risk. The motives are too weak. And if Cassandra is to be believed, there haven't been any serious disagreements recently that may have prompted the culprit to turn on her. No, there must be something else. Some other factor that I'm not seeing. Let's look at this photo one more time. We have the CEO, the COO, the CFO, and the CIO. Wait a second. Cassandra said this photo includes Kite Transit Executive Board. But if they're all in the shot...
Cassandra? Who took the photo?
Cassandra scoffs and rolls her eyes. I think it's the biggest display of emotion I've managed to get out of her. What, may I ask, does this have to do with the case? You're not listening. I told you. These are the only 3 people who could be the traitor. I hired you operating under the assumption that you would take this seriously.
I take my cases very seriously, Miss Kite. Miss Kite, this will go a lot smoother if you cooperate and answer my questions.
There. I said it already.
Cooperate? You're the one tossing all my evidence in the shredder. First you disregard my reports, and now the suspects I've spent days carefully considering?
I'm not disregarding anything. I just want to get every detail I can.
Cassandra gives me a hard stare, more intense than any she's given me to this point. I meet her gaze, determined not to let her see me flinch, though my heart is pounding in my ears. Eventually, Cassandra sighs and breaks eye contact. Fine. If you want to ask such meandering questions, I will humor you. My secretary took the photo. Ironically, even though she isn't in the shot, she is the most reliable person in my life at present. She ensures every task is completed to the letter, even when it means staying late. She handles my appointments, filters my phone calls, picks up my morning coffee, performs nearly any task you can think of. My life would be chaos without her. She's been angling for a promotion for years, but I can say without a doubt that there is no person I would rather have handling my schedule. She is irreplaceable. Hearing that, an idea pops into my head. I rummage around until I find the cover letter again. I pointed to the scribbled name at the bottom of the page.
Is this the secretary's signature then?
Indeed. She gathered all the documents you see here, as per my request. I nod and hold the threatening note so that it is adjacent to the cover letter's signature. It appears that the two are written in the same pen. In addition, though, the signature is less legible. There are a few quirks that are present in both documents. The lack of slope and tiny lettering. The tiny lettering, the closed loops. There's no doubt about it. The person who signed the letter also wrote the threat.
Cassandra, did you have any suspects aside from those 3 on the executive board?
No, nobody else has the ability to affect these reports in such a way.
But you don't have any definitive evidence pointing to any of them. And you say you've been fair to each of them in regards to pay and benefits.
In a nutshell, yes.
But you've been denying your secretary request for a promotion.
I have, but for good reason.
Does she see it the same way?
Cassandra pauses. She watches me through narrowed eyes. What do you mean? Speak plainly.
I mean, I don't think someone who was happy with the position would continue to ask for a promotion. Your secretary has been working diligently, more so than most of the executive board, it sounds like. But there's no payoff. That has to get tiring after years of hard work. With this in mind, don't you think it's
There's a possibility.
there's a possibility she could be the culprit?
Cassandra gives me an absolutely incredulous look, her eyes wide. Excuse me? I must have misheard. It sounded like you said my secretary of all people is the traitor.
That's right, if you allow me to explain.
You've come to this conclusion after having listened to me rave about my secretary's reliability and loyalty?
I don't think she's as loyal as you think. In fact, I think she's plotting against you.
But that's impossible. She has no real power over me. She hasn't the money, nor the status. Why, it would be like David trying to take down Goliath. Didn't David win that one? Maybe this isn't the best time to correct her.
I know it's hard to believe, but if you let me lay out the evidence, I think you'll start to understand.
I certainly hope so.
Now then, first of all,
There
there are some unique quirks found in the note and the cover letter signature. Obviously, the same person wrote the note and the cover letter signature.
the top one. Yeah.
Quirks? What do you mean?
Little details in the handwriting. Things like how T's are crossed and I's are dotted. Everyone writes differently, so their handwriting is like a fingerprint.
I see. So you're saying the same hand penned both the signature and the note?
Exactly. See, right here. The letters are about the same size and they lead the same way. Plus, the ink looks to be the same.
I see. There are a fair few similarities, now that I'm looking more closely. That said, I hope you've considered more evidence than a messy signature and vague note.
For sure, we have to consider the motive too. You might want to think about changing your secretary's job title to coffee fetcher. I think your secretary felt held back.
Probably feels held back. Oh wow, we're not going to romance.
You said so yourself, right? She wants a promotion, but you keep turning her down. So she wouldn't ask for a promotion unless she wanted to move up in the world. On the flip side, you've given the other board members benefits aplenty. They don't have as much of a reason to reach for more. In fact, seeing you give promotions and benefits to people at the top probably frustrates her even more. What is it?
Nothing. You have more evidence, I suspect.
Yes, I have one more thing. Those files you said didn't add up. Your secretary put them together. Get out some bread and mayo, because those files are baloney.
I don't know. I don't want her to be mad more, so I don't know which one to pick. You think she'll get the top one? Yeah.
Yes, I know. I asked her to. I told you this, remember?
Right, so that means she could put whatever she wants in them.
I suppose. Where are you going with this?
What I mean to say is that your secretary had total power over what is in those files. You said so yourself. The numbers in those reports made no sense. She must have included false data and records. records that could point to one of your coworkers as a culprit. And if you fired one of them thinking they were the traitor, well, then you'll be the one getting your pantsuit off.
And removed from the board. Good lord, I think you may be right. I expected Cassandra to get angry again, albeit at her secretary instead of me this time. But instead, she sits in silence, a deep crease in her brow.
Cassandra, are you okay?
Certainly not. Would you be fine in my position? I've just learned that my most loyal employee has been lying to me, and I should be enraged at this, but I must admit, I feel strange. I can see her reasoning so clearly now. I can see myself through her eyes, and I fear I may be the one in the wrong. I stare at her, wondering if I heard correctly. One of the wealthiest CEOs in the world admitting she's wrong and a subordinate is right? If I hadn't signed a non-disclosure agreement, I would consider recording this. Whoops, she's still talking. Focus, Beatrice. Cool it on the jokes. And yet, even if there was never any true danger, her actions are in direct violation of company rules. I should be thinking about firing her, not rewarding her with a promotion. She pauses again, consumed by indecision. Eventually, she looks up at me and blinks in puzzlement. You're being unusually quiet. Don't you have any thoughts on the situation?
Yeah.
I guess that's her way of asking me how I would treat her secretary, were I in her place.
Your secretary deserves more. You should reward her for her dedication. Your secretary has broken your trust and tried to ruin everything you work for. Give her the boot.
Oh, wow. I would save the first one.
But the way she was talking was about betrayal.
Yeah. So let's do the second one. Yeah.
You're supposed to kick the bad guy's butt, not give them the keys to the city. Show her and everyone else you're the boss. Who's the boss? If you promote her, there's a good chance she won't be happy for long. She'll keep clawing her way up, breaking rules and ruining lives along the way. It's a tough choice, letting go of someone you spent years working with alongside, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, you're the CEO, right? You probably do stuff like this all the time.
I see. I will keep your suggestion in mind. I'm going to wait until I've returned to work to make that decision. However, it isn't one that should be made lightly. Not when someone's livelihood is in the palm of my hand.
It's a good thing you have a whole luxury train ride to think about it then.
Indeed. I'd much rather think about that than spend the trip in fear of losing my position. Or missing my daughter's recital, as it were.
So, I've totally convinced you then.
Cassandra's lip quirk in a wry smile. Beyond a doubt, your evidence is sound and your deductions make much more sense than my clumsy attempts at sleuthing. You should be honored, detective. Few are able to perform to my standards. It's significantly more than I expected from a strange, young girl barging into my train car at the very least.
It's kind of a habit of mine, now that you mention it. Oh, and Cassandra?
I'm the killer. Yes?
I'm glad we solved this mystery together. Not just for my sake, but for you and your daughters too. I think you're a kind of person.
Think you're a kind person.
Underneath the cold businesswoman exterior.
Oh, really? And do you have any evidence to support this claim?
Plenty. You made a point to shrug it off, but you clearly care a lot more for your employees. You give them the benefit they deserve. Mostly. And you value them despite their flaws. You are empathetic about your secretary's skills and heartbroken when you learn she lied to you. And I don't think I didn't notice how soft you got when I asked about your daughter. How about that? You think deduction sounds about right?
Do those deductions?
Do those?
Cassandra smiles again, peering at me with a knowing gaze.
I venture that
That-
certain...
That's
Oh,
me.
sorry. I got excited there.
I know you did. I venture that certain inclinations may cloud your judgment in this instance. But thank you. That is generous of you to say. Cassandra looks at the files scattered across the cabin, at all the graphs, charts, and records. I suppose we won't be needing these anymore. And they get naked on the
Yeah.
couch.
Do you want help putting them away?
No, thank you. This is one mess I can take care of myself. Cassandra gathers the papers unsorted, understandable given that a good portion are full of false data, and stores them in her luggage. When she finishes, she sits beside me and breathes an exhausted sigh. I lean back into the cushy seat and do the same. Ahem. I definitely do not think about the fact that it's the closest Cassandra has sat next to me. I look across the cabin to the window. The sky has started to turn colors, blushing shades of red and pink as the sun sinks into the horizon. We're well into the countryside now, racing past distant hills with the occasional farm dotting the fields around us. At one point, we pass some kind of ranch with a field full of horses. I turn to point them out to Cassandra. Rich people love horses, you know, only to catch her staring at me. You know, I nearly forgot. I promised you a reward for your efforts in the event of your success.
Oh, what? Oh, right. You did say that. What did you have in mind?
Well, money is easily given, as are tickets to travel wherever you please. Yet I can't help but feel as though you deserve a little something extra. You've displayed exemplary wit and charm. It would be unfair to give you something that requires so little effort on my part.
Hey, don't worry about it. It's what I do, you know? Hold on. Did you say charm?
Cassandra smirks for a moment. She looks almost devilish. I have an idea. I've spent all this time talking about myself, yet I barely know you. We have quite some time left in this trip, so why don't we spend it getting to know each other?
Getting to... Oh, yeah, yes. I think I would be very much enjoy that. Enjoy your, company?
It's not a question.
Oh,
Company?
Cassandra laughs in earnest. My face and ears are undoubtedly competing with the sunset's flushed hues. I look away in a feeble attempt to hide my embarrassment, but long fingers trace along the edge of my jaw, guiding my attention back to Cassandra. Don't be shy. She tilts my chin with a knuckle. Despite her command, I am left speechless. She frowns, disappointed. I've always been a proponent of delayed gratification myself, but she brushes her thumb across the very edge of my lower lip. My pulse leaps at her touch. I suppose young blood burns hotter than my own these days. I wouldn't want to lose my edge.
Hey, yeah. Can't let yourself get out of practice, right?
The kissy. For some wine. She kind of looks like, what's that lady's name? That's the Wreck-It Ralph lady.
Who?
In the Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, yes.
Sergeant, whatever. Calhoun.
Mm-hmm.
Cassandra doesn't answer, but smiles and looks over my flushed expression. Then she tilts her head and guides me forward. Her kiss is firm, but not passionless. It lingers, but not nearly long enough. I rest my hand at her waist under her open jacket where it's warm. I lean forward, offering another kiss, but she draws away with a soft chuckle. Eager to please, are we? Let's put that to use and find a more enjoyable way to spend our evening. I catch myself nearly swooning at that suggestion. I shake the feeling with an enthusiastic nod.
Yes, ma'am.
Cassandra laughs again. I feel a hand at my hip. Good girl.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, fade to black. So I guess we play the game, however, whoever we choose to be in the cabin with, then we get to help them solve a mystery.
We solve a mystery again.
Yeah.
that was Love on the Peacock Express. Thank you again to everyone who made it.
I can't believe we picked one that was a detective.
Yeah, another case. I didn't even think about that, like the
Yeah,
what
I
it would
guess.
be.
Well, 'cause that's the Orient Express. Like, I guess all those are mystery things where a detective is present, but I didn't think that's what this would be.
But yeah, it's free on itch.io. I think I keep saying co. Itch.io. Go check it out. So it was like an hour probably what we recorded. So I'm assuming the other ones are just an hour long. Good writing, good little sensual dialogue with towards the ending there. So we were like missing some things too, like you know how she gets mad a little bit. So I wonder if you could make her happy with the opposite dialogue. Because I think
Probably.
I've seen her be happy once or twice.
Well,
in
when
that.
she has the purple flowers, that means good, right?
Is it? Oh, okay.
I assume so. I think everybody had different colored flowers.
Okay.
I think because she's a silver fox, that's like
yeah.
purplish.
Okay, so we were doing good then. Okay. I wasn't sure if the purple meant bad because that's how I always put things. I was waiting for red, like a red.
No,
hearts
the
or
other lady
something.
had red, I think, because she was red.
Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Let's see our journal. Oh, we finished one. Did we save this? Like, is it save? I
So,
click
like,
this.
if we go to different people, are we going to fill it up with all of our
Pictures, yeah.
of the people we've
It's like these are all
made
the
out with?
people I made out with. But yeah, thank you again. Is there a way to save? I guess not. I think it's save, right? That's
Probably.
how it is. Yeah, that was fun. Let's end our date night like how we always do. Try to take over the world. But thank you again, Audrey. I enjoyed that.
Me too.
The read. And the Frog Detective lives on in all of us.
He always shall.
Yeah.
All of our hearts.
But yeah, thank you again, guys. And see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.